Well, for the last several days, we've brought you reports on how intense farm fires from Punjab have contributed massively to the overall pollution load across North India and resulted in our national capital region becoming a virtual gas chamber with the PM 2.5 count at extremely dangerous levels. In order to give you a better idea of the number of farm fires that contributed to this, we reached out to Maxar for satellite imagery of the greater Amritsar area. And here's what we saw. Take a look at this image. This is an image from 2:18 p.m. on the 18th of November, just a couple of days back. What you see here is an apocalyptic scene. It looks like a war zone, but in fact, this is all smoke. It is not from the impact of bombs, but from farmers burning their agricultural stubble. Take a look at this image for a moment. What we can now show you over here is Amritsar Airport. You can see Amritsar Airport. Remember, there were massive flight disruptions in Amritsar Airport on the 18th of November. But it is over here that you can actually see dozens of farm fires which we've marked. Now, we've counted these farm fires, and there are 26 in this area to the west of Amritsar Airport, 26 independent farm fires to the west of Amritsar Airport. We've circled all of these. We've got many more details on ndtv.com. Now take a look at these two boxes, right? There's the big box and then there's the small box as well. Let's turn our attention first to the small box. And in that small box, as you can see, is this huge fire. It is one gigantic fire emanating, and imagine the air pollution a single fire like this can cause. This is one fire in that small box, and you can see the smoke trail that it leaves behind. Let's go back to the previous image and focus now on the big box, and let's zoom into that big box, and we've noticed 8 farm fires over here. Each of these farm fires, depending on what you look at, show their smoke plume as well. All across this region, it all adds up to what has been absolutely horrific. And finally, what is the area that we're actually talking about over here? Let's move to the next image so that we can show you and make an important couple of points. Right up top is Amritsar. The yellow box up there is the area that we have focused on. As you can see, in that yellow box, there is not a single red dot. Why am I focused on these red dots? Well, these red dots come from sensors on board NASA satellites. These made a pass on the 18th of November at about 2 p.m. The Maxar satellite images that you just saw on this report come from a satellite pass which happened a little while after that. And they have not been registered on the NASA satellite, which flew by a little earlier. In other words, these are fires which are not registered in the overall fire count. In just one small area, we saw 25 clear fires taking place. This is critical because the point that's been made over and over again is that there is a severe undercount of fires in the Punjab. All of it adds up. Just how many fires are there? Are satellites the only way of accurately getting that number? And if they aren't, then we may never really know how many fires there are. All we do know is the pollutant load in the atmosphere, and that's something that's killing us. Let's just go back to the very first image of this story, right, to give you an idea of this mess. This entire area, you can see clouds near Amritsar Airport and the city of Amritsar, air quality index well over 400. It is called serious. This is what a city which has been bombed looks like. But it's not a city which has been bombed by weapons. It's a city which has been bombed by pollution.